Hi, and welcome to All Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Claw with Cobra Pilot. And these, well, I got two of them, and one, they came in a box that was pretty beat up. So one box is really beat up. This one's actually in the best condition, so that's why I'm showing it off. I do have an original O-ring claw that I will be comparing it to, so you can see how it looks. I have the Ferret Scout Trooper and the Valkyrie, so we can kind of compare those bucks. I believe there's a slight change, but see what's the same, what's different on them. So there you go. You can see some wonderful artwork. It looks like they are taking off, getting away from the G.I. Joe headquarters. We got some rattlers in the back, some claws. Again, awesome, awesome look right there. All right, on the side right here, we have a 152. There she is, shooting her Uzi as she's flying away. Over there, you have your QR code, and then you have your file card system. And then on the back, we have kind of what they just show you what everything is. There's your figure, the different heads that it comes with, her weapons array, the claw, the blast effects, yada, yada, yada. All that wonderful stuff. But anyway, let's get this thing open. I know a lot of people already have them, so you're seeing them out there. I just got mine, so I'm super excited to get this thing open and kind of pair it with the Rattler. So anyway, let's get into it. But before we do, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe Classified review, which is an awful lot. Alright, so I got the claw out, got the figure out, and they come with the locker. If you guys remember these lockers, 152, it's a Cobra Pilot, Cobra Claw, Covert Light Aerial Weapon, and then you have an upside down 125, 152, which I guess works if it's like this here. Then you have your Cobra, so, alright. We open this up, and this goes back to what they were doing with the lockers. Good idea, I just never thought it was executed all that well. So opens up real easy. One, I would say this looks like it is all the pilot stuff. All right, and then over here, my guess would be it's all the stuff for the Cobra Claw. So I'm gonna push this stuff over to the side right there. You can see how everything goes. So we'll take a look at the figure, what she comes with, and then we will move on to this claw right here. So first thing we're going to get is a stand, the Cobra symbol. It's got 2 pegs for the feet right there. There's a spot for a name, which they don't put on there. I feel like they just should. Now normally I say, hey, don't use stands. I'm not a fan of stands, no matter what. But with something like this, this might be the only way you're able to stand them actually with the actual figure as it's, like if they're going to try and take off. So you might actually need that, but I'm going to put that to the side. So we are going to get multiple heads and multiple weapons. So the first thing we're going to get is this pistol. We've seen this pistol for quite some time. Extended magazine. It's got the long barrel. People have heard me complain. I'm not a fan of that. Nice trigger guard. Nice grip right there. You got the slide right there. So that does look good. And then it comes with this suppressor. All right. So the suppressor is just going to pop on just like that. It's one of the round suppressors. Now the reason why these two come together is because this suppressor also works with this Uzi. So this one actually came with the original Snake Eyes figure, right? So as for the Uzi, which I feel like I just went over just like yesterday, you have the the extended magazine, which does not remove. You got the grip, a nice trigger guard, nice long barrel there. You got the stock that's sitting right there. Got some iron sights. I think this is a wonderful looking weapon, especially for the first weapon they designed. But it only works for so many figures. And for the most part, it doesn't always work. Now, this is the first time, this is the first time we're seeing this since it came with the HasLab Hiss. All right, so this is an automatic shotgun. I actually really like this gun, to be honest. I know not everyone does. So, removable magazine. You can see the shotgun shells, and I like the way they're painted. I think that does look real nice. All right. And then you look here, you got your foregrip, you got your grip here, trigger guard, you got your nice stock painted white over here. All right, port for blast effects. You got your sights right there. So I think this is an awesome, awesome weapon. But I don't like them changing the size of weapons for the character. But I think they should give different weapons for different characters. And if it's a smaller female, give them a smaller rifle. It actually makes a lot more sense. I think everyone's on board with that. So, what we actually have here are the multiple heads. So, first we'll look at this head here. All right, now this came with the Valkyrie, as you can see. Same eyes, same mask, but painted completely different. So you have the nice red mask here. It looks supposed to be like a very similar blue, so you can get away with it if you put the helmet on it. All right, so quickly, just looking up over here, you got the nice mask, the silver right there, black running over the side, and then you get the eyes, which look really good. This array, this look here always remind me of Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, and don't ask me why I know Sub-Zero, probably from the WCW days. Here we have the gas mask is what it originally was. I think they're trying to make it to a gas mask. It's whatever you want it to be. You got the elastic that's supposed to go right around. You got the two vents for the oxygen or for the gas. The big front ventilator, I think that's a ventilation system. Who knows? Silver, again, paint looks real good. And then we have the figure right here. And you have, this is the black figure. Here's the white figure. So you can make as many different characters as you want. And I have a feeling all the heads are going to be interchangeable. So looking once again, you can look at the mask, how it sits right there. Has nice black eye or black skin color. You got the eyes that look good, and all the paint there, and all the way around. I think that looks pretty good. Looking at the vest, this is a completely new plate carrier. So we'll take a look at this here. So wrapping around here, we got some pouches up on top. Well, it looks like magazine pouches, but doesn't really make a lot of sense. Right there, we have what I believe is the radio. Going all the way up. Oh, you know what? Is that a radio? I'm not sure if that's a radio. Yeah, it should be a radio that goes all the way up top there. Got the strap that goes across there. And on the back, again, you can see little pouches. See little buttons. I think that all works really well with this figure. All right. Going down her sleeve. Obviously, you want it to be one full sleeve. They got this nice paint around here, so it's just kind of a uniform more than anything. Got the Cobra symbol right there, but I do like the two different tones. Kind of reminds me of how operators are in Special Forces right now, so I think that's pretty cool. Rock and Roll has that. And then here we have what looks like a digital display, so she can read everything that's going on with her claw as she's flying. All right, you got some red, some blue right there. I wonder if that lights up. And again, if you have a black light, there is a topographical map on there, which is really hard to see, but when you hit it with the UV light, it definitely shows up. So I think that's actually pretty cool. They've done stuff like that with other iterations of characters. All right, as you go down the legs, or go down, get a belt buckle right there, you can see the straps that are actually holding it on. Here's the drop down holster. People have already complained about this falling down. Those ones are just as bad, although I think this is a completely different look, I believe. So right there you got that, and it kind of scrolls all the way down here. Just again, I like the brake. It just gives it a little bit of a different color. You get the boots with the shin guards right there, and it also has the toe guards up top there, or the top of your. And then you have the helmet. Now this is the chevron. So this is the same helmet that came with this. This is for the officer. So now, I don't know if this means that she's an officer. Pilots, I believe, are supposed to be officers. It is pliable. So we're going to be able to pop this on any way that we want, just like that. As for the articulation on this figure, her head can look down, and it can look up that far. This is a huge problem. They need to fix this, especially on a vehicle like this that's going to want to be looking up to fly. Turn side to side. She has a wonderful T-pose. You got your bicep swivel right there. There is your ankle, your double pinned elbows. All right, your wrists are going to swivel. And they do articulate up and down for guns. This is really good for the Uzi. This is one of my complaints with Law and Order Law, because his swivel in and out, and that Uzi does not set properly. They have the I always forget the name. I always call it the belly dancer. The abdominal, not the abdominal. It's not the ab crunch. Someone's going to say, hey, I know what that is, and say what it is. And when I think of it, I'll come back to it. Diaphragm cut. She turns side to side. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Drop down hips. But the question is, does her leg come off? And it definitely does. And that came off way too easy. But it will pop right back on. So as long as it goes back on, I mean, it has been in the, in the 90s here, but it seemed to come off a little too easy, which kind of worries me. So her double knee joints. There is her, whatever that's called, her thigh joint, her thigh cut, her boot cut, her ankle rockers. So everything you can see is fairly loose. Or smooth, shall I say. Loose is actually the wrong term. All right. So quickly, there are some things I want to look at in a second. So I'm going to compare it to this figure here. And if we start looking at it, they have different arms. All right. Completely different arms. The forearms aren't the same or anything. I think the hands look to be the same. As for the chest is completely different. It also has this plate carrier right there. You get down to the knees, and I believe, or the legs. So I believe you have the waist that looks to be the same, and the legs look to be the same. The boots are the same. All right, so that's all the same. And if I grab this figure here, looking at her arms are also different. Same with hers. So she uses the same buck as this one, I think. Yeah, so these two use the same buck. This one, not so much. Torso is completely different. Arms are completely different, okay? Now, let me pop this on here. So I think this is more what you're going to be flying around with. Now I'm going to take a quick second. I'm going to stop this, which normally what I don't do, but I want to do something quickly. All right, boom. As I was looking at this, I thought of some things. This is a Walmart Fang exclusive. This is the modern 4-inch figure. And, well, what made me think of it is, you want to look at that? Look at those helmets. They have the chevron. This one's just silver. That one's black. They have the same oxygen mask. That's what this is. All right, the same, very, very similar plate carrier. So I just happen to think about this. This thing comes off way too easy also. So as I was going through it and I was looking at it, I'm like, dude, that looks like that modern Fang pilot that they did. So I'm pretty sure we get this one here that's modeled after this. When we get the Fang, expect this exact pilot, because they've already done the color scheme or something very similar. So I just wanted to run and grab that really quickly because it obviously just made me think of it. All right. As for arming her up, we can do this really quickly here. Obviously the pistol goes in right there. It doesn't look like there's any spot for the suppressor, but you know how, we all know how figures hold weapons. But I'll do it quickly. So there you have your Uzi. These helmets fall off so easily. Alright, so there you go. Now if you want to pop off the heads, are they interchangeable with the Valkyries? Well, they sure are. So as you can see, they fit perfectly. The color looks to be a little bit different. Maybe you want to go with the red visor. You really can't tell that the color's that different. I think this blue is just a little bit brighter than the Valkyrie. So but we're going to throw this one over here. I'm going to pop this one right back on here. We're going to throw it to the side, all right? No, and again, because these have the same legs, I think we all know how they stand. The question will be, can I stand her while she's actually carrying a fang? So let's get this out of the way, as vehicles always end up taking up way too much space. And this is a small one, but still a vehicle. So here we go. 2 blast effects, which we've seen numerous times. Now they threw this is what they were doing a while back, throwing it in plastic so it doesn't get ruined. Hopefully it stays that way. So looking at these, you have your plume of smoke. There's your blast coming through there. Okay, some people, they made it so this can technically be used as firing for a bullet or for a blast effect for the jetpacks. I think we're going to use this for the blast effects for the jets, right? Just seems to make way more sense. Here we have the 2 missiles. All right, so that looks pretty good. They're very pliable, the same as like this. Hopefully they won't curl the same. It's dog boned, somewhat dog boned, so they can only go one way, but the detail on it is pretty good. I actually like the way they made the tail fins right there. It just kind of gives it more of a look to it. All right, and now we have the 2 end pieces, and then your 2, I want to say rudders. I don't know. I'm not a pilot, so I'm assuming this is easy enough. You can see where the red's going to pop on. There's no instructions, or at least nothing that I saw in mine. And they're just going to clip right on. This one's going to plug into the back. And then we plug that one right there. All right. So let's take a look at this in detail the best that we can. So this is actually a fairly large boy. It's nice that you can flip this up, save a little bit of space. The original ones will go over, but they used to actually go in. So what we're looking at here is little red at the end, red and green, so you know where the tip is, so no one smashes into you for the most part. All right, they put some metal around it. I'm assuming that's to try and keep it from being, if it gets hit. Looks like we have more lights right here on both sides. They're doing a really good job of leaning into like, hey, don't run into us if need be. 23Z, you just got a little bit of detail right here. Different panels, you can see the rivets. On the back, we have 8, along with the fin here. They're going to move up and down, so you can kind of decide while they're in flight how you want it to look. Black fins. All right, obviously break the air. And then you have these 2 pieces down here, which I always thought were more to protect you from the jet exhaust, but this is kind of low, so I don't think you're going to have that. We do have a 2 guns right here. One that actually articulates up, another one that just shoots straight. I believe that here's that engine cover. It does move side to side also. So you can actually get some range of motion. The original one definitely did not do this. All right, what you have right there is a radar. So that thing's going to turn. And I think that's your laser guiding system right there. Looks like we have another light right in the front. And then you got the front flaps so they can move up and down to make her go up or go down. All right. Missiles are going to pop right here. So once again, they can only go one way. If you can even get it on. These are soft. I'm not a fan of the super soft missiles. I'm going to say that 100%. That is kind of bothersome. All right, so in the front we got handles, which I actually really like. This is a big difference compared to the O-ring, which we'll take a look at. Here, you're going to be able to put whoever you want underneath it. So this is just going to slide out. That slides out, so you're going to get your little clasps right there. So it's going to lock in. Yeah, your Cobra symbol. It's a whole vest and a whole harness, which is supposed to be connected to this. Again, probably a much better idea than just plugging them into the back, which was the old way. There's your jet intake right there. There's your danger that you're going to have an engine blast coming out. I really do like the silver. I think that looks nice. We have 4 sets of wheels that all come down, and these move back and forth. They also turn. These ones here are stationary, so they just sit like that. All right, so they're just stationary, just like that. All right, they can fold down. They are in casters, so you're going to turn that to where you want them to be. All right, so quickly looking at the wheel here, you can see how that just kind of pops on. I've already seen one come where they had the big wheel popped on right here. It looks like it shouldn't fit, but I believe for the most part it's designed the same. This is smaller than that, but I think they can fit right in there. They're going to be the same height no matter what. All right, but when you look at the detail, again, they do roll. All right, so all in all, that looks pretty nice. And then right here, we're going to pop in the blast effects, which I actually see for something like this. I think this looks really good. All right, and those seem like pretty powerful engines for such a small little vehicle. Now let's compare it to our O-ring. So first off, we'll stop at the top. And if you're wondering why I was trying to pop it off, this thing pops off and you can see the whole engine, not the whole engine, the whole gun mount assessment there. All right, so what we have here is 2 different guns. Now this one elevates and it also turns, which this one did not. You do have your tail wings right there. They angled them a little bit, no big deal. On this one here, it went in and out. These ones flap, and they put the missiles on that rather than right up here. All right, and then you still have the protection. Now you can see why I said this was a protection against the legs. All right, where on this one here, you're just screwed. They gave it much bigger engines, but in the same spot. On the bottom is where we see a huge, huge, huge difference, right? So, still have the handle grip, which you do have here, but right there, that was the wheels. This one doesn't. They gave it wheels right here, but I'm not really sure. I mean, these things are meant so when you land, you're landing on your feet. So I'm not really sure why they have it like this. This is going to roll this way. I do get that. But I don't understand why they don't just have the wheels like that the whole time. I'm guessing so they could design it so it just folds down. So looking at this, they did leave off the bomb. No big deal. You have your wheels that are going to come in and out, the same as this. But they added these ones right there. And then obviously give you a harness rather than just using a back peg, which I'm perfectly fine with. But you can see the way the engines are designed, very close to the original for the most part. Obviously there's going to be some differences. The missiles look almost the same, just little short stout missiles. These ones do have an area so we can put something in the back. I don't believe that a blast effect, I don't even know where I put the blast effects are there. I believe that's too small for the blast effects. I am wrong. So you can use the blast effects right there. They do work. I thought that they were too small, but I was wrong. Alright, so now let's toss this figure on here and let's see how well she works. So I can only imagine that's going to fall off numerous times. So, did they make this thing big enough that you could put another figure on, let's say like a Viper? I would say yes, they did. Alright. But with that big pack, I'm going to have to go grab one and try, because I think people are going to want to try and fit other figures. I don't think I'm going to have any issues with the Cobra Commander and someone that doesn't have a plate carrier. But the figures with the plate carriers, they might be a problem. But you can see exactly how much space there is. So, I think we're going to be able to just easily reach on up here and grab this. Now she can't look up, and that is a huge problem. A very large problem in my mind. So for this figure, no problem needing a stand because she's shorter than the other ones, so the back just kind of sits right there. So you don't need to really worry about that if this is the only figure. But let's be honest, I think some people are going to want a bigger figure in there. Use this thing for other figures. So I'm going to go grab a figure, and we're going to see if it works. Okay, I'm back. Also, do not leave at the end. I have one other thing that I'm going to show you. It might be in the thumbnail. It might not be. I can't. There we go. There's lights on. All right, so quickly, I'm going to take this Retro Viper. Does he fit on there? Is this plate carrier going to be too much for him? Well, we're about to find out really quickly if we can actually pop this on here. And I got to say, it's already looking like a very, very, very tight fit. Because I'm going to say this right now, man. If you cannot put bigger figures on here, and you can't, this is a massive fail. Alright? So, there is no way that I can see here that I can get that to go on all the way. I might be able to get one side on. I think Cobra Commander might, but this is... Well, maybe. You know what? Hold on. See, I moved it. You know, it's hard to see as it is, but there's not enough space to get that side on. So technically, I guess I can still kind of hang in there. More than likely, once you grab the handles, oh, the handles move. Oh, look at this. The handles move up and down too. Oh, that's very interesting. So once you have it in there, I guess it'll stay. Just due to the sheer force of him holding onto it and this here, but you cannot strap that in. Which means you're not holding this up at all. Like, that thing's not going to be able to stay up because there's no way to really keep it on there. I mean, there's a lot of work being put into this. So I guess we have that there. I guess you can get up on there. That's not, I would not say that's my favorite pose right here. Now we take Cobra Commander. God knows he was in the claw all the time. Throw that on there. And the body looks to be thin enough. You know, at this point, I wish they would have put a... I mean, I understand this. And maybe this is the spot you should have had the new style seat belts. But they probably should have put a peg on the back just in case. So this holds for him. And I didn't realize that, so that does move. So it can fit the larger figures. Not just the Cobra Valkyrie, or the Pilot as they're calling this iteration. Alright. So Cobra Commander can hold on to this. Obviously getting him to hold it and stand, it's not that bad. It works. Alright. Now I have one more thing I want to show you guys. Alright, so you're asking, why do you have a hiss there? Well, if you don't know any better, and if you don't know, go watch my classic claw video, and you'll see that the claw was meant to actually house onto the back of a hiss. So people ask, do you think they were forward thinking? Well, there is this right here. You do have the handles, and that thing will clamp on just like that without any problems. So maybe this is the reason why this was meant to extend as far as it does. I don't really know. All I know is it sits on there very much like the O-ring. The O-ring versions sat onto it. So there you go. I have completely destroyed my whole display downstairs to do this review. Alright, so there you go. That is your Cobra Claw and Pilot review. Everything's done, man. It does clip onto the back of the hiss if you want to. A matter of fact, I think I'm going to display one on the back of the hiss. I think just because I have a few of them. But anyway, there you go. I like the vehicle. It's something cool. I apologize for the way I fumbled around. It's kind of a pain because I'm trying to bring all these other parts up here. I try and do it on one take so you can see exactly how easy stuff is to do. Not everyone does it. A lot of people have it all nice and neat, and that makes sense. God bless them. That's not my approach, I think. So anyway, there you go. There's your claw. That's your Pilot. I'm not sure if they're still available on Pulse, but I'd say watch because I'm sure there will be more available. They tend to do this. As a matter of fact, I just went and deleted my Law and Order, and unfortunately, it looks like it actually canceled my snake armor and my divers because they were on the same order, which is never done before. So I'm a little aggravated if you didn't know, because that means I don't have a snake armor coming. So anyway, here you go. That's just a side. It's just a side issue that I'm dealing with right now. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Take a look at these. If you are so interested, please, you stayed this long, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe Classified, which as of right now won't be a snake armor. I'm going to get out of here. Don't go anywhere. Up here, I'm going to leave you with another review of the G.I. Joe Classified, and down here will be a playlist of all the classified stuff that I reviewed. Take care.